Welcome back. As Americans wait to feel the full impact of tariffs on their wallets, manufacturers in China are also bracing for impact. Many say that those added costs caused by tariffs won't be covered by them, but instead will be passed on to American consumers. In tonight's Prime Focus, our Brit Planet traveled to eastern China, the storefront for the world, to see how the prices you pay may change.
Here we are at Yiwu International Trade Market. Inside, 80,000 stores covering the size of 1,000 football fields.
If you've ever ordered something on Temu, Shein or Amazon,
Acupressure mat, knee pads for your garden, sock organizer, as seen on TV. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
it likely came from here.
Hi.
And chances are these goods are about to get pricier because of President Trump's 20% tariffs on all imports from China. The vendors here are already feeling the pinch from the blanket US tariffs. And they say ultimately it's the American consumers who will have to fork out the extra cash for their cheap goods.
He's saying, so that's about $10 US wholesale. If there is a tariff on it, it becomes about $12.50.
This is the China Yiwu Daily Consumer Goods Innovation Exhibition.
We come across Liz Liu. She's live streaming from the exhibition floor.
Do you export from Yiwu and only ship to Afghanistan?
An expert in factory sourcing, Liz connects foreign buyers with Chinese manufacturers.
How would the new tariffs plan of the Trump administration affect your business?
Her playfully edited videos on TikTok and Instagram explain the trade war for her audience outside of China.
I work with the EU market service provider, which is a huge company that owns the entire EU market.
Right.
I do marketing service for them.
I
But I
see.
also import products from EU market and export them to, other countries.
This is modern day trade in China.
I'm a passionate person, and I'm very proud of what China has achieved in the past 40 years. There was a math. If you spend 5 minutes in each shop in the EU market, it will take you 3 months.
Liz's position on US tariffs reflects what the Chinese government repeatedly says too, that there are no winners in a trade war.
So who loses in all of this?
Everybody, from sellers in EU to these trade service providers like shippers, shipping operators, to, in the end, the importers, the wholesalers, the distribution channel owners in the US, to then ultimately the consumers in the US.
There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that.
Tariffs have been a pillar of President Trump's second term, promising that the economic uncertainty Americans are feeling now will be worth it in the long term.
Tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again.
And despite warnings from economists that consumers will see higher prices, even sparking fears of recession, he's moving forward.
Our country and its taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, but it is not going to happen anymore.
These people in the EU market have been exporting from China for 30 years. How do you think they're going to react to that?
How are they reacting?
They feel like they're being threatened.
Do they say, okay, this is too hard, forget it, we'll focus on other markets and move away? Or is the American market so important that they stick around and find ways to work around it?
People who already invested heavily in the American market would stick around for a while to see what's going to happen. But there are other e-commerce platforms that are opening up outside of the US market.
This is first step to make the nails.
Liz takes us to a nearby factory.
At this factory in Yiwu, China, they specialize in nail products and they churn them out. Look at these. They make 400,000 of these a day. These you'll find on Temu, Amazon, any online store and retail giants across the States. They say they will not be absorbing the costs of President Trump's tariffs. And in fact, they say it will likely be pressed on to the consumer. So these are the generic products that you've got on there, and then a company will come and put their brand on these.
This time, maybe they buy this one from us, it's $1, and then this year is maybe $2. I think this is not good for the American people.
So you're not taking the costs of the tariffs, it's the consumer that takes it in at the end?
Yes, because we don't change anything.
She tells us, despite US tariffs, orders will continue coming just from other countries.
To make something like this in the United States would probably cost 3 times as much.
American manufacturers in China, like the CEO of toymaker Basic Fun, Jay Foreman, warns that it's his customers back home who will ultimately pay more.
What could you see this go up to if there were tariffs?
So this bear right now sells for about $15. If tariffs are imposed on this bear, it probably goes up to about $20 or $22 a piece.
Foreman says there are even potential safety concerns if the tariffs force him to break up his reliable supply chain in China and threaten time-tested safety protocols.
When you start to break up that supply chain and pioneer this in new territories and new markets, you go through that learning curve. And that learning curve took us 20, 30 years to figure out. Now it's perfect. You don't see reports that children are being, hurt by toys.
Foreman says it's unrealistic to think that he can move his labor-intensive manufacturing operations back to the US, considering the lack of labor in the face of immigration changes.
Not only is it the type of jobs that Americans really aren't looking to do, but there just might not be enough people in the country to do them.
Are people still going to buy this stuff, or are they going to wait until this is made in America?
This is not going to be made in America, ever.
Never? Yeah. There won't be a time where there's a Yiwu-style wholesale market in the States?
I mean, we can go ahead and open a wholesale market, but the supplies are still going to be coming from China.
Do you think these companies would actually move their production plant back to the US?
Liz continues to post her videos daily, selling Yiwu to the world, hoping China and the US, the world's 2 biggest economies, will thrash out a deal to soften the blow of this trade war 2.0.
China and the US could work together to achieve a situation where we could both win. I hope for that. And I believe American people hope for that too.